Win with Time Management, written and published by Audiobooks. Mastering the most valuable asset, your time. Time is the one resource that cannot be earned, regained, or replaced. You can recover lost money, rebuild broken systems, and re-establish relationships, but every second that passes is gone forever. Yet, despite its unmatched value, most people treat time casually. They waste it on distractions, misuse it on unimportant tasks, and allow others to dictate how they spend it. The result? Lives filled with busyness but not productivity, activity without achievement, and effort without meaningful progress. Winning with time management begins by reframing how you see time itself. It is not a vague concept measured by clocks. It's the currency of your life. Every choice you make is a transaction, trading your finite hours for something else. Once you deeply understand this, you stop asking, "How do I get more time?" and start asking, "How do I use the time I already have in the best possible way?" The mindset shift from time spent to time invested. Most people view time as something to be filled. They plan their days by asking, "What do I need to do?" High performers approach time differently. They ask, "What outcomes do I want to create?" This subtle shift transforms how you structure your days. Instead of filling your schedule with endless tasks, you begin to design your life around meaningful results. Time invested wisely compounds. 1 hour of deep, focused work on a goal that matters is infinitely more valuable than 5 hours of scattered activity. When you start treating every hour as an investment toward your future, you naturally become more intentional about how you spend it. You stop saying yes to everything, you stop reacting to every demand, and you start building a schedule that reflects your priorities, not someone else's. One of the most common reasons people feel too busy is because they have never defined what actually matters. They treat everything as equally important: answering emails, scrolling social media, attending meetings, working on major goals, all get the same level of attention. But time management is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. Start by identifying your top 3 priorities, the activities, projects, or responsibilities that have the highest impact on your life and future. These are your high-value tasks, and they deserve the majority of your time and energy. Everything else is secondary. Once you know what matters, decision-making becomes easier. If an activity doesn't support those priorities, it's a distraction. The cost of distraction. Time isn't just lost when you're doing nothing, it's often wasted when you're doing the wrong things. Distraction is the enemy of productivity, and in today's world, it's everywhere. Phones, notifications, entertainment, and endless streams of information compete for your attention. Every interruption pulls you away from your focus, breaks your momentum, and reduces the quality of your work. Winning with time means taking control of your environment and protecting your focus like a valuable asset. Turn off notifications during deep work. Schedule time for emails instead of checking them constantly. Designate blocks of uninterrupted time for important tasks. The more you protect your attention, the more valuable your time becomes. The power of saying no. One of the most powerful time management skills is the ability to say no. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are saying no to something meaningful. Many people struggle with time because they are overcommitted. They agree to tasks, meetings, or obligations that do not align with their goals. Learning to say no is not about being rude or selfish. It's about honoring your time and priority. Before agreeing to any new commitment, ask yourself, does this move me closer to my goals? If the answer is no, decline politely. Protecting your time requires discipline, but it's the key to creating space for the things that truly matter. Building the foundation for success. Mastering time management is not about rigid schedules or perfect calendars. It's about clarity, intentionality, and focus. It's about shifting from being reactive to being proactive. It's about choosing where your time goes, rather than letting the world decide for you. The first step is awareness. Understand that every moment counts. Recognize the difference between activity and progress. Eliminate distractions and protect your attention. And above all, make deliberate choices that align your daily actions with your highest priorities. Time is your life. Managing it well is the foundation of all success in your work, your relationships, your health, and your growth. Once you master how you use it, everything else in your life begins to fall into place. Designing a life that reflects your priorities. Time management isn't just about being more productive. It's about building a life that reflects what matters most to you. Most people make the mistake of trying to fit in important things around everything else. They work long hours, react to other people's demands, and then hope to squeeze in time for health, relationships, or personal growth when there's a gap. But the truth is, there's never a gap. Life fills every available moment, unless you deliberately design it otherwise. To truly win with time, you must reverse the process. Design your life around your priorities, and let everything else adjust around them. Think of your time as a container. If you fill it first with sand, small, unimportant tasks, there's no room left for the big rocks, the things that truly matter. But if you place the big rocks first, the sand can always fill the gaps. Your schedule should reflect this same principle. Start with the essentials: time for health, deep work, relationships, learning, rest, and self-reflection. Schedule them as non-negotiables. These are not things you try to fit in. They are the foundation around which the rest of your life is built. Once the essentials are locked into your calendar, you can allocate time for everything else. This simple shift transforms your schedule from chaotic and reactive to purposeful and balanced. The power of time blocking. One of the most effective tools for mastering your day is time blocking, the practice of dividing your day into dedicated segments for specific tasks or types of work. Instead of juggling multiple activities simultaneously, you commit a set amount of time to one priority and give it your full focus. This single habit can dramatically increase your productivity and reduce mental fatigue. For example, you might block 8:00 and 10:00 a.m. for deep work on your most important project, 10:00 and 11:00 a.m. for meetings or emails, 11:00 and 12:00 p.m. for creative work, and so on. The key is to group similar tasks together and give them their own focused time slots. By doing this, you minimize context switching, the mental drain caused by constantly shifting between tasks, and maintain higher levels of concentration. Time blocking also builds discipline. When you commit to a block of focused work, distractions lose their power. Social media, texts, and minor interruptions no longer dictate your day. You're not just working when you feel like it. You're following a deliberate plan designed to produce results. Morning mastery. Owning the first hours. How you spend the first few hours of your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Most people start their mornings in reactive mode, checking messages, scrolling online, or rushing through tasks, and spend the rest of the day trying to catch up. But high performers understand a simple truth: the morning is the most valuable part of the day, and it should be used with intention. Start by designing a morning routine that primes your mind and body for success. This might include exercise, journaling, reading, planning, or deep work. The key is to dedicate the first 1 to 2 hours of your day to proactive, high-impact activities before the world starts making demands of you. By doing your most meaningful work first, you build momentum, reduce procrastination, and create a sense of control that lasts throughout the day. Owning your mornings also has a powerful psychological benefit. It reinforces the belief that you are in charge of your time, not external circumstances. When you consistently win the first part of your day, you develop confidence and discipline that carries into every area of your life. The 80 and 20 principle. Focus on the few that matter. Not all tasks are created equal. In fact, most of what you do contributes very little to your overall results. The 80 and 20 principle, also known as the Pareto principle, states that roughly 80% of your outcomes come from 20%. In terms of time management, this means that a small portion of your actions create the majority of your progress. Winning with time means identifying those high-impact activities, the ones that truly move the needle, and focusing relentlessly on them. This requires brutal honesty. Look at your to-do list and ask, which of these tasks will produce the greatest results? Which ones could I eliminate without significant impact? Once you identify the 20%, prioritize it. These are the tasks that deserve your best time, energy, and attention. This principle applies not just to work, but to every area of life. 20% of your habits create 80% of your health. 20% of your relationships bring 80% of your fulfillment. 20% of your financial decisions drive 80% of your wealth. Once you embrace this mindset, you stop trying to do everything and start focusing on what matters most. Protecting your peak hours. Everyone has natural rhythms, times of day when focus, energy, and creativity are at their peak. For some, it's early in the morning. For others, it's mid-afternoon or late at night. One of the most powerful time management strategies is to align your most important work with your peak hours. Instead of wasting your best energy on emails or busy work, reserve it for high-value tasks that require deep concentration and problem-solving. Save routine, low-effort activities for times when your energy naturally dips. By aligning your work with your biological rhythms, you dramatically increase productivity without working longer hours. The difference between average performers and top achievers isn't necessarily how much time they spend working, it's how strategically they use their best hours. When your highest energy is focused on your highest priorities, you begin to achieve more in less time. Building a schedule that works for you. Time management is not about creating a rigid routine that feels like a prison. It's about designing a system that supports your goals, values, and lifestyle. Your schedule should be flexible enough to adapt to changing priorities, but structured enough to keep you focused and accountable. Start small. Implement 1 or 2 new habits, like time blocking or a morning routine, and build from there. Track your results. Notice where time is wasted, and continuously refine your approach. Over time, your daily structure will evolve into a powerful system that makes productivity automatic. When you begin to see your schedule not as a limitation, but as a tool, a framework for creating the life you want, time management stops feeling like a chore. It becomes a daily practice of alignment, focus, and progress. And when you control your schedule, you control your future. The myth of not enough time. One of the most common excuses people use to justify stagnation is, "I just don't have enough time." It's a comforting phrase because it shifts responsibility away from ourselves. But the truth is, time isn't the problem. Priorities. Every person, from billionaires to students, is given the same 24 hours each day. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary results and those who remain stuck is not more time, it's better use of the time they already have. When you say, "I don't have time," what you're really saying is, it's not a priority. If something matters enough, you make time for it, no matter how busy you are. Think about the last time you were deeply passionate about a project, excited about an opportunity, or urgently dealing with a crisis. Suddenly you found the hours. The lesson is clear. The issue is not the scarcity of time, but the misalignment of focus. Owning this truth is empowering because it puts you back in control. If your time is a reflection of your priorities, then changing how you spend it begins with changing what matters most. Start by tracking your time for a few days. Every activity, every hour. You'll quickly see where your energy is being wasted. Then, with clarity, you can make the conscious decision to redirect that time toward your goals. The trap of busyness. In modern life, busyness has become a badge of honor. People wear packed schedules and overflowing inboxes as signs of importance. But busyness and productivity are not the same. In fact, they're often opposites. Being busy means filling your day with tasks. Being productive means moving closer to your goal. Many people stay trapped in cycles of busyness because it feels like progress. Checking off dozens of small tasks gives the illusion of accomplishment. But at the end of the day, if those tasks haven't contributed meaningfully to your growth, they're just noise. True effectiveness comes from doing fewer things, but doing the right things with focused intensity. To break free from busyness, adopt a powerful question. Is this the best use of my time right now? Ask it before you start a task, accept a meeting, or commit to a new project. If the answer is no, don't do it. Protect your time fiercely. Every yes to something unimportant is a no to something that could change your life. Eliminate, automate, delegate. One of the most effective ways to reclaim your time is by mastering the 3-part framework: Eliminate, automate, delegate. This simple system frees you from low-value tasks and allows you to focus on high-impact work. 1. Eliminate. Start by cutting tasks that don't truly matter. Many of the things you do daily exist out of habit, obligation, or fear of disappointing others, not necessity. Be ruthless. If a task doesn't contribute to your goals or values, remove it. Every eliminated task creates space for something more meaningful. 2. Automate. Technology can save you hours every week if used strategically. Automate bill payments, recurring reminders, social media scheduling, and repetitive workflows. Even small automations, like calendar reminders or email filters, can free up significant mental bandwidth over time. 3. Delegate. If a task must be done but doesn't require you specifically, delegate it. This doesn't just apply to work. You can delegate chores, errands, or administrative tasks in your personal life too. The goal is to protect your most valuable resource, your attention, for the tasks that only you can do. Mastering decision-making speed. Indecision is one of the biggest hidden time killers. People waste countless hours overthinking, overanalyzing, and delaying choices. The most successful individuals understand that speed matters. They make decisions quickly with the information they have, then adjust if needed. This doesn't mean being reckless. It means recognizing that most decisions are reversible, and the cost of delaying them is often higher than the cost of getting them slightly wrong. Instead of trying to make the perfect choice, focus on making a good choice quickly, then refine it through action. A helpful strategy is the 2-minute rule for decisions. If a choice will take less than 2 minutes of thought, decide immediately. Save deeper analysis for high-impact decisions, but don't allow minor choices to drain your time and energy. The faster you decide, the faster you move forward. Build systems, not willpower. Many people rely on willpower to manage their time, but willpower is unreliable. It's finite and easily depleted by stress, fatigue, and emotion. High performers understand that the key to consistent time mastery isn't willpower, it's systems. Systems are structures, routines, and processes that make productivity automatic. For example, setting up default decisions, like automatic savings or scheduled gym sessions, reduces decision fatigue. Every system you build reduces the number of choices you need to make, and the amount of willpower you need to exert. Over time, these systems create powerful momentum, and time management becomes effortless. Guarding against time thieves. Even the most disciplined schedule can be derailed by time thieves. Small, seemingly harmless activities that consume hours when unchecked. Social media, aimless browsing, unplanned conversations, and unnecessary meetings are all examples. Most people underestimate how much time they lose to these activities because they happen in small chunks. But those small chunks add up to massive losses. Start by setting strict boundaries around your biggest time thieves. Use app blockers, set time limits, or schedule specific distraction windows. Be intentional with communication. Keep meetings short, messages clear, and conversations focused. Treat your time as a valuable asset and protect it accordingly. Remember, every minute wasted on something meaningless is a minute stolen from something meaningful. The goal is not to eliminate all leisure or spontaneity. It's to ensure they're chosen rather than accidental. When you control how you spend your time, you control the direction of your life. Your time, your responsibility. At the heart of time mastery is a single powerful truth. Your time is your responsibility. No one will protect it for you. No one will prioritize your goals more than you, and no one can give you more of it. The way you spend your time is a daily reflection of your values, your discipline, and your vision for your life. Once you accept full responsibility, you stop blaming circumstances, schedules, or other people. You recognize that you have the power and the obligation to choose how you spend every hour. And with that choice, you can design a life that's not just busy, but deeply meaningful and wildly productive. The discipline of daily planning. Mastering time isn't about reacting to each day as it unfolds. It's about designing each day with intention before it begins. Daily planning is one of the simplest yet most powerful time management habits you can develop. It transforms chaotic, distracted days into structured, productive ones. Without a plan, you drift. With a plan, you direct. The best time to plan your day is the evening before or first thing in the morning. Spend 10-15 minutes identifying your top priorities, scheduling key tasks, and clarifying what success will look like by day's end. This small investment of time pays massive returns in focus and effectiveness. It ensures you wake up with clarity, not confusion, and you begin the day by leading it instead of reacting to it. Your plan should do 3 things. Break them into actionable steps that fit into your available time blocks. Schedule them, not as vague intentions, but as appointments with yourself. When you plan your day with this level of intentionality, you shift from living reactively to living strategically. Every hour has a purpose, and your time begins to work for you, not against you. The power of the one big thing. Every day, there is one task, one project, decision, or action that, if accomplished, will make the day a success. Productivity masters call this the one big thing. The problem is that most people scatter their energy across dozens of tasks, treating everything as equally important. They finish the day exhausted but without real progress. The solution is to identify your one big thing every morning and make it your highest priority. This is the task that will create the most momentum, generate the most results, or remove the biggest obstacle. Once you know what it is, schedule it during your peak focus hours and protect that time fiercely. Even if you accomplish nothing else that day, completing your one big thing ensures that the day moves you forward. Over weeks and months, this practice compounds into extraordinary results. Remember, success is not built on doing everything, it's built on consistently doing what matters most. The rule of 3. Another powerful planning technique is the rule of 3. It's based on a simple principle. Humans are most effective when they focus on no more than 3 major goals or tasks per day. Any more and attention becomes diluted. Decision fatigue sets in, and effectiveness drops. Each morning or the night before, ask yourself, what are the 3 most important outcomes I need to achieve tomorrow? Write them down and commit to completing them before anything else. This method forces you to prioritize, eliminate unnecessary tasks, and concentrate your energy where it matters. The rule of 3 also builds a sense of daily accomplishment. Even on busy days, if you complete your 3 most important tasks, you know the day was successful. Over time, this consistent progress builds momentum and confidence, 2 essential ingredients for long-term achievement. Time management and energy management. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to manage their time without managing their energy. Time is finite, but energy fluctuates throughout the day. You can schedule a task at 3:00 p.m., but if your energy is low, the quality of your work will suffer. The key to peak productivity is aligning your most demanding tasks with your highest energy level. Start by paying attention to your natural rhythms. When are you most alert, creative, and focused? When do you typically feel sluggish or distracted? Once you understand your energy patterns, schedule your most critical work, writing, problem-solving, decision-making during your high-energy windows. Reserve routine tasks, emails, admin work, errands for times when your energy dips. Also, treat your energy as something to renew, not just spend. Incorporate short breaks, movement, hydration, and healthy nutrition into your schedule. A 5-minute break to stretch or breathe deeply can restore far more focus than powering through another 30 minutes in a state of fatigue. Managing energy ensures that the time you spend is not just filled, it's impactful. Time leverage. Doing more by doing less. Time leverage is the art of multiplying the impact of your efforts, without multiplying the hours you work. Most people think the only way to achieve more is to do more, but high performers achieve more by leveraging their time, using systems, tools, and people to extend their capabilities. Here are a few key ways to create leverage. Templates and checklists. Create standard processes for recurring tasks, so you never start from zero. Automation tools. Use technology to handle repetitive actions like email follow-ups, data entry, or social media posting. Batching. Group similar tasks together to complete them in focused blocks instead of spreading them out. Delegation. Empower others to handle tasks that don't require your expertise, freeing your time for higher value work. Leverage transforms your productivity from linear to exponential. Instead of trading more hours for more results, you design systems that allow results to grow without additional time input. This is how top performers achieve 10x results without working 10. The review and reflect habit. At the end of each day, take 5 minutes to review what you accomplished, what could have gone better, and how you'll improve tomorrow. This reflection is the secret weapon of effective time managers. It turns every day into a learning opportunity and keeps you continuously optimizing your approach. Ask yourself, what did I achieve today that mattered most? Where did I waste time? And how can I prevent it tomorrow? What one small improvement will make tomorrow more productive? This simple habit compounds powerfully over time. Each day becomes slightly more effective than the last. Mistakes become lessons, and lessons become better systems. Within weeks, you'll find yourself producing more with less effort. Not because you're working harder, but because you're working smarter, living with intention, not reaction. Ultimately, daily planning is about taking control of your life. Most people live reactively, responding to emails, notifications, and other people's priorities. They let the day happen to them. But time mastery requires the opposite. You must make the day happen for you. When you plan intentionally, protect your priorities, and align your time with your purpose, you stop drifting. Every hour becomes a deliberate choice. Every day becomes a building block toward your goals. And over time, those choices compound into a life of purpose, progress, and fulfillment. Time is not just something to manage, it's something to master. And mastery begins with intention. When you plan your days with clarity and discipline, you take the first step toward building the life you truly want. Eliminate distractions, the silent killers of productivity. No matter how well you plan or prioritize, your efforts will crumble if distractions constantly steal your attention. Time management isn't just about what you do, it's also about what you don't allow to interrupt you. In a world designed to capture your focus, from social media notifications to workplace chatter, the ability to guard your attention has become a superpower. Distractions are more than minor annoyances, they are productivity killers. Research shows it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully regain focus after being interrupted. That means even a quick glance at a message or email can derail an entire work block. If you're constantly switching tasks or checking your phone, you're not truly managing time, you're surrendering it. The first step to regaining control is awareness. Pay close attention to what interrupts you during your most important work. Is it notifications, emails, people? Once you know the culprits, you can eliminate or minimize them with deliberate strategies. Your phone, laptop, and apps are designed to hijack your attention, and they're incredibly good at it. But technology is not the enemy. The lack of boundaries is. You must train yourself to use tech intentionally, not habitually. Here are some ways to regain control. Turn off non-essential notifications. Most alerts are unnecessary and can be checked on your schedule, not theirs. Use Do Not Disturb mode. Block interruptions during deep work or high focus periods. Check email on a schedule. Instead of reacting all day, set specific times to review messages. For example, once mid-morning and once mid-afternoon. Limit social media windows. Use apps or built-in tools to restrict your time on platforms that don't serve your goals. Create a focused workspace. Keep only the tabs, tools, and documents you need for the task at hand. Technology should serve you, not enslave you. By setting digital boundaries, you reclaim hours of wasted time and restore your ability to focus deeply. The myth of multitasking. One of the most damaging time management myths is the belief that multitasking makes you more productive. In reality, multitasking doesn't save time, it destroys it. Our brains are wired for single-task focus. When you try to juggle multiple tasks at once, you don't do them simultaneously, you rapidly switch between them, losing focus and increasing mistakes each time. Studies consistently show that multitasking reduces productivity by up to 40% and lowers the quality of your work. It also increases mental fatigue and makes it harder to stay motivated. The most successful performers, whether athletes, CEOs, or artists, all have one thing in common: they single task with intense focus. They give their full attention to the task at hand, finish it efficiently, and then move on to the next. To build this habit, work on one priority at a time. Even if you have many tasks, tackle them sequentially. Use time blocks. Dedicate 60-90 minutes to one task without switching. Close all unrelated windows and apps. Out of sight, out of mind. Resist the urge to check messages mid-task. They can wait. Your focus cannot. Single tasking is not a sign of slowness. It's a discipline that produces faster, higher quality results. Protect your environment. Design for focus. Your physical environment can either support your time management or sabotage it. A cluttered workspace creates mental chaos, while a focused, intentional environment reinforces discipline. If you often feel distracted or unmotivated, your surroundings might be part of the problem. Design your space to encourage focus. Declutter your desk. Keep only the essentials, your tools, notes, and one current project. Minimize visual noise. Too many items, colors, or decorations can pull attention away from your work. Control noise. Use noise-canceling headphones, background music, or silence, whichever helps you concentrate best. Set clear work zones. If possible, dedicate one space purely for focused work and another for breaks or casual tasks. When your environment is designed for focus, it becomes easier to enter a state of deep concentration, and once you're there, you'll accomplish more in less time. The deep work principle. Best-selling author Cal Newport calls it deep work, the ability to focus without distraction on cognitively demanding tasks. Deep work is where high-value results happen. It's when you write, design, solve, or build with your full mental capacity. Yet most people rarely experience it, because they live in a constant state of shallow distraction. To cultivate deep work in your life, schedule deep work sessions. Set aside 2 to 4 blocks of uninterrupted time per week for high-focus tasks. Start with short sessions. Begin with 30-45 minutes, and gradually extend as your focus strengthens. Set clear goals for each session. Know exactly what you want to achieve before you start. Eliminate interruptions. Silence notifications, close doors, and communicate boundaries to others. Deep work is where mastery, creativity, and real progress happen. A single deep work session can often accomplish more than an entire day of scattered effort. Guard your attention like your wealth. Think of your attention as currency, more valuable than money, because once spent you can't get it back. Every distraction, notification, or impulse purchase of your time is a withdrawal from your focus account. If you want to win with time, you must guard this account fiercely. Here's how to shift your mindset. Treat attention as a resource. Ask yourself before every click, is this worth my focus? Design default behaviors. Automate habits that protect focus, like turning off notifications by default or leaving your phone in another room while working. Recover deliberately. Schedule short breaks to recharge instead of drifting into aimless scrolling. Attention management is time management. If you master your focus, you'll multiply your output, achieve more meaningful work, and move faster toward your goals, all without working longer hours. From fragmented to fully present. When distractions no longer control you, your time becomes yours again. Work that once took hours now takes minutes. Tasks that once felt overwhelming become manageable, and perhaps most importantly, your life begins to feel intentional rather than reactive. The world is full of noise, but you have the power to silence it. By eliminating distractions, embracing deep work, and protecting your attention, you transform not just how you work, but what you're capable of achieving. Time is not lost in minutes, it's lost in moments of distraction. Guard those moments, and you will master the art of time. Master the art of planning, the blueprint of productive lives. Time management without planning is like sailing without a map. You might stay busy, but you'll likely drift without direction. Planning is not about rigidity or micromanagement, it's about intention and clarity. It's how you take control of your hours before they're stolen by chaos, distraction, and other people's priorities. The truth is simple: if you don't plan your time, someone else will. Your inbox, your calendar, your phone, and even other people's emergencies will fill your day. Planning ensures you decide how your time is spent. It transforms your day from a series of reactive decisions into a carefully crafted path toward your goals. Winning with time isn't about doing more. It's about designing your days so the right things get done, consistently and deliberately. Why most people fail at planning. Many people attempt planning but abandon it quickly because they approach it the wrong way. They make overly complicated to-do lists, pack their schedules with too many tasks, or fail to connect their daily plans to their larger goals. The result: overwhelm, procrastination, and a false sense of productivity. They stay busy but they don't make progress. True planning is simple and strategic. It's about prioritizing outcomes over activities, clarity over clutter, and structure over spontaneity. The goal is not to fill every minute. It's to make every minute meaningful. Start with the big picture, vision and goals. Before you plan your day, you must understand what you're planning for. Great time management starts with a clear vision, knowing where you want to go in the next year, 5 years, or decade. Once you have that, break it down into specific measurable goals. Ask yourself, what are the top 3 outcomes I want to achieve this year? What milestones must I hit in the next 90 days to make progress? What actions should I focus on this month and this week to stay aligned? When your daily plans are rooted in long-term goals, they become powerful. Every task is no longer just an item on a checklist. It's a step toward the life you're building. The weekly planning ritual. Weekly planning is where strategy meets execution. Instead of waking up each day and reacting, you enter each week with clarity, confidence, and control. Dedicate 30-45 minutes every Sunday or the day before your week starts to plan ahead. Here's a simple framework. Review the past week. What worked? What didn't? What still needs attention? Break them into tasks. List the specific steps needed for each outcome. Time block the essentials. Assign focused time in your calendar for the most important work. Prepare for obstacles. Anticipate potential distractions or challenges and plan solutions in advance. This ritual turns your week from unpredictable to intentional. You'll no longer wake up wondering what to do. You'll start each day with purpose. The Daily Planning Power Hour. While weekly planning sets the strategy, daily planning is the tactical execution. The first 15 to 20 minutes of your morning should be spent designing your day, not scrolling, reacting, or rushing. Use this structure. Set 3 top priorities. Identify the 3 most impactful tasks you must complete. Time block your calendar. Schedule focused work sessions, breaks, meetings, and deep work blocks. Batch similar tasks, group emails, calls, or admin work into one block instead of scattering them. Leave buffer time. Always include extra time between major tasks to handle the unexpected. When you plan your day before it begins, you take control of it. You move from reacting to creating. You stop wasting time figuring out what to do next and start moving directly into high-impact action. The power of time blocking. Time blocking is one of the most effective planning techniques ever created. It's the practice of assigning specific chunks of time to specific tasks and then protecting those chunks fiercely. Instead of working from an endless to-do list, you give each task a scheduled home in your calendar. Why it works? It forces focus. You know exactly what you're doing and when. It reduces decision fatigue. You don't waste energy deciding what's next. It prevents overcommitment. Your calendar shows you what's realistically possible. It builds discipline. You train yourself to respect your own time. Example, instead of a vague plan like work on project, you schedule 10 hours. That block becomes non-negotiable. No meetings, no emails, no interruptions, just focused effort. Plan for flexibility, not perfection. Even the best plans can't predict everything. Unexpected events, delays, and changes will happen. The goal of planning is not perfection, it's direction. That's why flexibility is essential. Build margin into your day. Leave 10-15 minutes between tasks. Keep 1 or 2 open blocks for unforeseen priorities. If plans change, adjust without guilt. Just reschedule rather than abandon your goal. Remember, a plan that adapts is far more powerful than a rigid plan that collapses. Reflect, adjust, and improve. Planning is not a one-time skill. It's a practice that improves with reflection. At the end of each day or week, Spend 5–10 minutes reviewing. What did I plan that I didn't complete? Why? What went well and helped me stay focused? What changes can I make to improve next week? This feedback loop turns planning into mastery. Over time, you'll become more accurate in estimating how long tasks take, better at predicting challenges, and more effective at designing schedules that match your energy and priorities. When you plan your days and weeks intentionally, you create space for what matters most. You free yourself from chaos, procrastination, and regret. You stop merely reacting to life and start designing it. The most successful people don't leave their days to chance. They build them with purpose. If you want to win with time, don't just use it. Plan it, shape it, and direct it toward the life you want. Because in the end, how you plan your days is how you shape your destiny. The power of routines. Automating success through structure. Time management isn't just about calendars, planners, and productivity hacks. It's about building systems that run your life automatically. And the most powerful system you can build is a set of strong daily routines. Routines turn discipline into habit, eliminate decision fatigue, and ensure that the most important parts of your day happen without constant willpower. Think about the most successful people you know: entrepreneurs, athletes, leaders, creators. Almost all of them share one thing in common. They rely on powerful routines. Their mornings follow a structure. Their work hours follow a rhythm. Their evenings prepare them for tomorrow. They don't waste time wondering what to do next, because the plan is already built into their habits. Routines are the backbone of time mastery. When you structure your days with intention, you free up mental energy for creativity, problem-solving, and growth. Why routines work. The psychology behind consistency. Humans are creatures of habit. Studies show that up to 45% of daily behavior is habitual, meaning nearly half of what you do happens automatically. The brain prefers patterns because they conserve energy. The more consistent your habits, the less willpower and mental effort you need to use. This is why people with strong routines seem to get more done with less stress. Their key behaviors are on autopilot. They don't rely on motivation every morning to get started. They don't negotiate with themselves about working out, writing, or focusing. They simply follow their system. Routines are powerful because they transform important behaviors from choices into defaults. And once they're automatic, they happen consistently, even on days when motivation is low. The morning routine. Owning the first hour. How you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. A chaotic morning often leads to a scattered day, while a focused, intentional morning builds momentum and discipline. The key is to design a morning routine that primes your mind and body for peak performance. A powerful morning routine doesn't have to be complicated, but it must be intentional. Here's a simple structure used by many high achievers. Feed your mind. Read, journal, or meditate to set a positive mental tone. Review priorities. Revisit your goals and key tasks for the day. Start with a win. Begin with one meaningful task to build momentum. The goal is not perfection, but consistency. When your first hour is intentional, the rest of your day follows suit. Midday systems. Structure your peak hours. The middle of your day is usually when your focus and energy are at their highest, but also when distractions and demands compete for your attention. Without a system, this period can easily slip away. Create a midday workflow that protects your most productive hours. Use the 2 big blocks rule. Dedicate 2 90-minute blocks to your most critical projects. Schedule breaks intentionally. Step away every 60–90 minutes to reset your focus and prevent burnout. Minimize meetings and calls. Keep reactive work for later in the day, if possible. When you consistently follow a midday system, you stop wasting your peak hours on low-value activity. Instead, you invest them where they create the most impact. The evening routine. Set tomorrow up for success. Evenings are often underestimated, but they're one of the most strategic parts of your day. A strong evening routine isn't just about winding down, it's about setting up tomorrow. The goal is to close out today intentionally and create clarity for the next day before it even begins. Here's a proven evening structure. Reflect on the day. Review what went well, what didn't, and what you learned. Plan tomorrow. List your top 3 priorities and prepare your workspace. Disconnect from work. Create a clear boundary between professional and personal time. Wind down. Engage in relaxing, non-digital activities that signal to your brain it's time to rest. Protect your sleep. Go to bed at a consistent time to ensure recovery and energy. When tomorrow's plan is ready before you sleep, you wake up with direction instead of decision fatigue. That's why many successful people wear similar outfits, eat similar meals, or follow strict routines. They minimize decision fatigue, so their brain power is reserved for what matters. Apply this principle to your time management. Automate recurring tasks. Use apps or systems to handle repetitive actions like bill payments, reminders, or scheduling. Standardize your schedule. Block the same hours each day for deep work, admin tasks, exercise, or meeting. Create default days. Assign themes to days, e.g. Monday planning, Tuesday creative work, to simplify decisions. The fewer choices you have to make, the more energy you have for high-level thinking and meaningful action. Build momentum with keystone habits. Not all habits are created equal. Some have a ripple effect, improving multiple areas of your life at once. These are called keystone habits, and they're the cornerstone of powerful routine. Examples include daily exercise, boosts energy, discipline, and mental clarity. Morning planning improves focus and decision-making all day. Evening reflection increases learning, gratitude, and strategic thinking. Focus on building just 1 or 2 keystone habits, and they'll naturally pull the rest of your behavior into alignment, saving you time and mental effort. Routines create freedom, not restriction. Many people resist routines because they fear losing spontaneity, but the truth is the opposite. Strong routines create freedom. They remove chaos, reduce stress, and ensure that your most important work gets done, leaving you with more time for the things you truly enjoy. Routines are not about rigidity, they're about rhythm. They give structure to your days, clarity to your actions, and momentum to your goals. And when built with intention, they become the invisible force driving your success, quietly but powerfully, day after day. Master your routines, and you master your time. Master your time, and you master your life. The myth of multitasking. Why focus is the new superpower. In today's world, busyness is often mistaken for productivity. We brag about how many tasks we're juggling, how many tabs we have open, how many projects we're balancing. But the harsh truth is this: multitasking doesn't make you more productive, it makes you less effective. The human brain is not wired to focus deeply on multiple things at once. What we call multitasking is really task switching, rapidly shifting attention from one thing to another. Every time you switch, your brain takes time to refocus, wasting precious mental energy. Studies show that frequent task switching can reduce productivity by up to 40% and increase mistakes. The people who win with time management don't do more at once. They do one thing at a time, with full, undivided attention. Focus is the new superpower. In a distracted world, the ability to go deep on one task without interruption is what sets high achievers apart. The true cost of distraction. We often underestimate how much distractions drain our time and energy. A single notification can derail your focus for minutes. An impulsive glance at your phone can spiral into 20 wasted minutes of scrolling. But the deeper cost is even greater. Distractions destroy momentum and prevent you from entering flow, the state of deep, effortless focus, where your best work happens. Research shows that once your attention is broken, it can take up to 23 minutes to fully regain focus. That means every interruption, no matter how small, is more expensive than it appears. Distractions don't just slow you down, they fragment your thinking. They pull you out of strategic, long-term work and trap you in reactive mode. And over time, they rob you of the creative breakthroughs and powerful results that only come from sustained concentration. The deep work mindset. Train your brain to focus. Deep work, a term popularized by author Cal Newport, is the ability to focus without distraction on cognitively demanding tasks. It's where your best ideas are born, your most impactful work is done, and your competitive edge is built. But deep work doesn't happen by accident. It must be trained through deliberate practice and intentional structure. Here's how to build the deep work habit. Schedule focused blocks. Block 61 to 120 minutes for deep work every day. During this time, eliminate all distractions. No phone, no email, no notification. Use rituals to start. Begin each deep work session with the same routine, like clearing your desk, putting on headphones, or reviewing your objective. Embrace boredom. Resist the urge to fill every free moment with stimulation. Training your brain to tolerate boredom improves focus. Protect your focus zones. If possible, create a physical or digital environment dedicated to deep work. Deep work is not just about getting more done. It's about producing work that matters. It's about depth over speed, quality over quantity. Single tasking, the antidote to overwhelm. The simplest way to regain control of your time and attention is to commit to single tasking. Instead of scattering your focus across 5 tasks, pour all of it into one. When you work on one thing with total attention, you finish faster, make fewer mistakes, and produce higher quality results. Try these strategies to build the single tasking habit. The one thing rule. Ask yourself, what's the most important thing I can do right now? Then do only that. Time boxing. Assign a specific block of time to one task, and don't switch until the block is over. Micro goals. Break tasks into small milestones and tackle them one by one. Context blocking. Group similar tasks, like emails or admin work, together, so you don't constantly shift gear. Single tasking is how you build momentum, and momentum, once built, turns ordinary effort into extraordinary output. Eliminate time traps and digital distractions. In the modern world, distraction isn't just an annoyance, it's a business model. Every app, website, and notification is designed to hijack your attention. If you want to master time, you must take control of your environment before it takes control of you. Here's how to reclaim your focus. Turn off notifications. Disable non-essential alerts on your phone and desktop. Use website blockers. Limit time-wasting sites during work hours. Create focus windows. Schedule specific times to check email or social media, and avoid them outside those windows. Work offline. Disconnect from Wi-Fi during deep work sessions when possible. Set physical boundaries. Keep your phone in another room or use a distraction-free workspace. Your environment should make focus easy and distraction difficult. If it's the other way around, you're fighting an uphill battle. The power of flow, where productivity explodes. When you're deeply immersed in a task, when time seems to disappear, distractions fade away, and work feels effortless, you're in a state called flow. This is the ultimate productivity zone, where performance and creativity reach their peak. Flow isn't luck. It's triggered by specific conditions. Clear goals. Know exactly what you're trying to achieve. Immediate feedback. Track progress as you go. Optimal challenge. Tasks should be difficult enough to engage you, but not so hard they cause anxiety. Undivided attention. Eliminate all external interruptions. The more often you enter flow, the more impactful your work becomes. Even 2 to 3 hours of flow each day can accomplish more than 8 hours of scattered effort. The compounding effect of focus. Here's a truth most people never realize. Focus compounds over time. Just as money grows when invested wisely, your results grow when your attention is directed consistently at meaningful work. A single hour of deep focus may seem small, but 5 focused hours a week is 260 hours a year, the equivalent of over 6 40-hour work weeks, dedicated to high-value creation. That's the difference between average and extraordinary. When you protect your focus, you don't just manage your time, you multiply it. You produce better work in less time, create more value with fewer hours, and achieve more with less effort. Focus is the ultimate competitive advantage. In a world addicted to distraction, focus is rare, and anything rare is valuable. The ability to concentrate deeply is no longer just a productivity skill, it's a competitive advantage. It's what allows you to outthink, outperform, and outlast those who are constantly scattered. Time management isn't just about scheduling tasks or organizing your day. At its core, it's about mastering your attention, because where your attention goes, your time flows. Master focus, and you master your results. Master results, and you master your destiny. Designing a life you don't need a break from. Time management is not just about calendars, apps, or productivity hacks. It's about designing a life that reflects your deepest priorities. Most people manage their days without ever questioning whether the life they're managing is the one they actually want. They focus on doing things faster but never ask if those things are worth doing in the first place. The true purpose of mastering time is not to cram more into your schedule, it's to free your time for what truly matters. It's about aligning your daily actions with your highest values, so that every hour you invest builds a life you love, not one you need to escape from. When you intentionally design your days, weeks, and years around what fulfills you, your passions, purpose, relationships, and growth, you stop living reactively and start living deliberately. Your time becomes a reflection of your vision, not a reaction to demand. The 80-20 life: focus on what moves the needle. The Pareto principle, the idea that 80% of results come from 20% of efforts, applies to more than just productivity. It's a guiding philosophy for how to structure your entire life. Most people spend the majority of their time on low-impact activities, checking email, attending unnecessary meetings, doing busy work that feels productive but accomplishes little. Meanwhile, the tasks that could truly transform their life, strategic projects, learning new skills, building relationships, creating long-term value, are often neglected. The secret to mastering time is to ruthlessly prioritize the vital few over the trivial many. Identify the 20% of actions that create the most progress and focus relentlessly on those. Everything else is noise. Here's how to live the 80-20 way. Protect your peak hours. Schedule your most important work when your energy and focus are highest. Say no with confidence. Every yes to something unimportant is a no to what truly matters. Batch and automate. Bundle repetitive tasks and automate where possible to reclaim time. The difference between busy people and high achievers is simple. Busy people do more. High achievers do what matters most. Time wealth, the ultimate currency. At the end of your life, you won't wish you had made more money or answered more emails. You'll wish you had more time. Time is the most valuable currency you have. Unlike money, once it's spent, you can't earn more of it. This is why the goal of time management isn't simply to be efficient. It's to build a life rich in time. Time wealth means having the freedom to spend your days as you choose, on the people and pursuits that matter most. Ask yourself, are you spending your time on activities that give you energy or drain it? Do your daily habits reflect your deepest priorities? If you had total control over your schedule, how would you spend your days? The answers to these questions reveal whether you're truly wealthy in time or just existing in a cycle of busyness. Mastering the art of saying no. The word no is one of the most powerful tools in time management, yet it's also one of the hardest to use. Many people overcommit because they fear disappointing others or missing out. But every yes you give is a trade-off. You're not just agreeing to a new task, you're sacrificing time that could have been spent on something more meaningful. Learning to say no isn't selfish, it's strategic. It's how you protect your focus, energy, and priorities. Here's how to say no with confidence. Be clear, not apologetic. I can't commit to this right now is enough. You don't need elaborate excuse. Offer alternatives if possible. Suggest a different time or a smaller commitment if you still want to help. Remember your bigger yes. Saying no to distractions is saying yes to your purpose. Time freedom requires boundaries, and boundaries begin with no. The power of daily reflection. No matter how well you plan, you'll drift without regular reflection. That's why one of the most powerful habits in time mastery is a daily review. A few minutes at the end of each day to reflect, recalibrate, and reset. Ask yourself 3 simple questions. What went well today? What could I improve tomorrow? Did I spend time on what truly matters? This habit keeps you aligned with your goals and helps you make small adjustments before they become big problems. Over time, these daily micro-corrections compound into massive results. Your life is built in minutes. Here's the truth. Your life is not built in decades. It's built in minutes. Every minute you spend is a brick in the structure of your future. You're either building the life you want or drifting into one you don't. Time is not something you find. It's something you create by choosing what matters, by focusing your attention, by designing your days with intention. When you realize that each minute is a choice, you stop wasting them. You stop letting distractions, demands, and other people's priorities dictate your life. Instead, you start investing every moment into a future you're proud of, becoming the master of your time. Mastering time is not about squeezing more tasks into your day. It's about transforming how you think about time, from something that controls you into something you control. It's about taking ownership of your schedule, your focus, and ultimately your destiny. When you win with time management, you don't just get more done, you become more intentional, more present, more fulfilled. You design days that build the future you want. You create space for growth, for purpose, for what truly matters. The clock is ticking, but you are the one holding the pen. The story of how you spend your time is the story of your life. Write it with purpose, live it with clarity, and above all, remember, the greatest freedom you will ever know is the freedom to decide how you use your time.